JBeans.net. Bermuda is a British island territory located in the Atlantic Ocean. Known for its pink sand beaches, Bermuda is a destination for many cruise ships each year, and most of them stay docked for multiple days. We previously visited Bermuda in 2019 and returned for more adventures aboard the Celebrity Eclipse in June 2024. During our most recent visit, our ship docked at the Royal Naval Dockyard for 3 days. In this video, we'll provide an overview of our second day in Bermuda, when we visited the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute's Ocean Discovery Center, grabbed a tasty lunch in downtown Hamilton, and played some late-night mini-golf with family at the Royal Naval Dockyard. Just a quick note that if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. It really helps our channel. And consider subscribing so you get alerted when we add new videos. Since we were traveling with Grandpa Bean, it was important for us to choose activities that were enjoyable for both him and our Jelly Bean. We also wanted to select activities that were relatively low impact, since Grandpa Bean's mobility is a bit more limited. We started our second day in Bermuda by using the 2-day bus and ferry passes we purchased the previous day to take the bus to Hamilton. We took the dockyard's courtesy shuttle from our ship to the bus stop near the entrance of the Royal Naval Dockyard's Clock Tower Mall. Typically, bus lines 7 and 8 are available for traveling to Hamilton. However, since so many people were trying to get to the beaches, every bus that came through while we were waiting was designated as Bus Line 7. The line for the buses was not too bad when we arrived a little after 10 in the morning. However, it was significantly longer by the time we boarded about 20 minutes later. So make sure you prioritize getting to the bus stop early if you want to maximize your time exploring Bermuda on your own. After a roughly 45-minute ride with fantastic views of the water and islands, we arrived at the bus stop located right outside the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute, or BUEI. Designed to educate visitors about many aspects of ocean exploration, the Institute's Ocean Discovery Center featured many interactive exhibits, artifacts, and educational programs about the waters around Bermuda and beyond. The Ocean Discovery Center's exhibits were spread across 2 floors. The main floor, which is the floor we entered on, featured 4 exhibits, including one that explored Bermuda's marine geology and diving history. A rotating exhibit that highlighted the work of Bermudian ocean explorer, shipwreck hunter, and deep-sea researcher Teddy Tucker. The Institute's shell collection, with over 1,200 shells on display. And an exhibit that highlighted our connections with the ocean. After spending about an hour exploring the main floor's exhibits, we headed to the briefing room and the dive area for a simulated adventure that was essentially just a fun way to give guests a slow elevator ride down to the lower floor. Once we reached the lower floor, we explored the 4 additional exhibits that were available, including an exhibit about the Bermuda Triangle, an exhibit about bioluminescence, a shipwreck gallery, and a treasure room that featured replicas of many precious artifacts that have been recovered. In total, we spent about 2 hours exploring the Ocean Discovery Center at BUEI, and all 4 of us thought it was well worth the price of admission. Kids under 3 were free. Kids ages 3 to 5 were $3. Kids ages 6 to 17 were $8. Adults were $15. And seniors 65 and older were $12. Since the Bermudian dollar is fixed to the US dollar at an equal value, we were able to pay with US currency. However, be aware that change might be given in Bermudian dollars. Before leaving the Institute, we made a stop at the restrooms, and we also topped off our water bottles at the refill station. From BUEI, we were able to take bus lines 2, 3, 7, or 8 for a quick 5-minute ride into the city of Hamilton. Once we arrived at the central bus terminal, we walked about 5 minutes to Brown & Company, which was located on Front Street, not far from the Hamilton Ferry Terminal. Brown & Company was a surprisingly large department store that sold clothing, books, greeting cards, and so much more. An extended family member mentioned they had a delicious lunch at the store's Glazed Bakery Cafe the previous day, so we decided to give it a try. Glazed Bakery Cafe was located on the upper floor of the store, near the book section, and featured a pretty good selection of food, desserts, drinks, coffee, and more. The 3 adults at our party all ordered sandwiches, and Jelly Bean ordered a wrap. Including drinks and a coffee, the total for our order was $58. After placing our order, we were fortunate enough to get a table on the small terrace outside the cafe, overlooking Front Street and Hamilton Harbor. With an umbrella for shade, it was a perfect spot to relax for our lunch. About 10 to 15 minutes after placing our order, we received our food and were surprised at the relatively large portion sizes. We all enjoyed our lunch and finished up our visit by going to the clothing section and buying some good quality souvenirs at a lower price compared to what we saw at the Royal Naval Dockyard. We then left Brown & Company and walked just a couple minutes west along Front Street to Bermudiana Road. We turned right and walked a very short distance to Yo Cherry Frozen Treats for some ice cream. We visited the St. George's location of Yo Cherry during our first day in Bermuda, and we all enjoyed the creamy, delicious homemade ice cream so much we couldn't wait to have some more. Just like the previous day, it was well worth the $14.25 for a purchase. After finishing up our ice cream, we walked the very short distance back to the Hamilton Ferry Terminal and took the roughly 20-minute ferry ride back to the Royal Naval Dockyard. We then returned to our ship to freshen up and enjoy dinner with our extended family. However, our day wasn't over. After wrapping up dinner, 9 of us disembarked the ship and headed to Bermuda Fun Golf inside the Royal Naval Dockyard. For $15 per adult and $12 per kid under the age of 12, we enjoyed a round of Minigolf under a moonlit sky with our ship and the Norwegian Joy visible in the distance. The course has probably seen better days, but our entire group had an absolute blast. And after the last putt was complete, we all laughed our way back to our ship for the end of our second day in Bermuda.